Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Breathe Motivation. My name's Anthony Hester. I'm the host and founder of Breathe Motivation. Our goal is to help you find your purpose and passion in everything you do on a day-to-day basis, and that's why we're here daily, to help you find those very things, right? So glad you guys could join us. So yesterday we talked about rising above the challenge, rising above it, whatever that looks like. You know, we've got to be able to take on challenges and understand that we can get through whatever we want to, but we've got to rise above it sometimes, because sometimes we go into this battle thinking, hey, we're going to win. And, you know, sometimes we get our butts kicked, right? I told you guys I was getting my butt kicked for the last couple of weeks, and I had to decide, one, I could kind of shrivel up into like a little hole and stay there, or I could, remain positive and look at the outlook of it and kind of like laugh at the situation and really, focus on how I can get better, because that's how I end up winning in the long run, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I think a lot of people want the path of least resistance. People want it easy, right? Easy. Everybody wants easy, right? So let's start off with the definition. So the definition for today is easy. So it's achieved without great effort, presenting few difficulties. Now, how many of you guys have had something just kind of like handed to you? Right? Some money or, a promotion or something, right? I've noticed that anything that has been kind of handed to me, it doesn't feel as good as if I had worked hard for it, right? So when I go through situations in life, and I think when some of us go in these situations, I think it can be, of course, the easy route, easy route is the easiest, right? We want that to happen. And, a lot of people want these things to happen. And I think a lot of times we're left disappointed because, as we watch TV, we see like the end result of everything. So when we watch reality TV, and that's really kind of why I stopped watching TV, because I would get disappointed, but I had to change my mind frame on how, easy things can affect us. But when I look at these things, so like flipping houses, for example, when you're watching these shows on HGTV, and I love to watch them because it's cool to see how they build up these houses and all these things. But that little 30-minute or hour episode doesn't show you the grind of everyday work behind these things, right? It's the same thing with, like The Biggest Loser and all these things. They show you little clips of, or, they show you this over a season's time. And great, I think The Biggest Loser is probably going to give you a little bit more insight because it's like a season long thing. But, when you look at these situations and you're looking at this reality, the so-called reality, because it's a little bit of reality, but when I look at it, they always present easy, right? So you see a lot of people jumping into flipping houses, right? Quickest way to make some money. It's the quickest way to really just turn this money that you have into something else. But a lot of people don't see the hard work that goes into it, the day-to-day business of flipping houses, right? So you've got to be able to attain a license, and maybe quote me if I'm wrong, or let me know if I'm wrong. But, when I look into these things, you're going to have to prepare, right? You can't just go into these situations with no knowledge of flipping houses and thinking that you're going to be successful. And I think that's what happens sometimes is we always are looking for an easy route to win, and we end up getting really disappointed. And then we end up quitting what we're doing because, man, we didn't realize how hard it was, right? So when I look at life and when I look at things that I'm doing, there's a lot of hard work that goes into what I do on a day-to-day basis. Creating a business, it has been one of the, it's been a lot of hard work, really kind of researching, doing a bunch of things, applying for a business license, applying for, company, bank accounts and credit cards and all kinds of stuff. There's so much stuff that goes into this. And same thing when I thought, when I started this podcast, I didn't know how much I would invest, how much time I was going to invest into this, and then how much money I've invested into this. So it's become a process of, really investing in this. But in the long run, as long as I work hard and I really focus on what I'm doing and finding the correct ways to do these things, it's going to pay off. But nothing that I've done has been easy. It's the same thing when I battled anxiety. It wasn't some quick fix or some magic pill that, somebody gave me that made me better, right? I had to do a lot of hard work and, kind of a lot of soul searching, I would say, is really kind of understanding why I had, why I've had anxiety or why it even came. And maybe I've had it for a long time and it just kind of boiled over, from all this stress and all these things that I was holding on to. So I didn't know what was going on with anxiety. And, when I look at it, I was like, man, I was having all these, these symptoms. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having a heart attack. And I'm like, man, I'm only 28 or 29, or, I think it's, I was a little bit younger, but it doesn't matter how young or old I was. I went through all these things and, I was like, man, I'm never going to get through this. And, for a while, the anxiety overcame me and I was like, there's got to be an easy fix. So I read everything, I went to the doctor and they're like, hey, you can take these antidepressants and this will help you get better. And for me, I've always had this hard time, just taking, pills. And really, I was like, is this going to make me any better? So I didn't end up taking them. So when I look at it, I was like, man, there's no easy fix. And all of this anxiety has come up over years, right? All this stuff that's been building up. So I had to work really hard to really understand why I'm having these symptoms, what my mind is doing. And I read a lot of books, right? And I had to look and I had to research and I had to just take action. And that was the biggest thing that helped me find success and, overcoming anxiety. And every once in a while I get, these, kind of not, I don't have these big panic attacks, but I do kind of feel anxious sometimes. And it's when I start to really start looking way into the future. So I have to remind myself that the only thing that matters right now is the present. How do I feel now? Right. So if I'm feeling a little nervous, why am I feeling nervous? So I have to, kind of look in my mind and really understand why I am where I'm at. Right. But it's the same thing in life. When I look at, this podcast, I look at my job, I just switched jobs. So, I got to know that it's going to take some hard work and learning new things because I'm new to this position and new to this industry. And it's going to take me a little bit. Nothing is going to be an overnight success. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we forget as we, learn and grow is that we are in this process of, we've got to take our time. We've got to be patient, right? And the efforts and the work that we put in, they will pay off. We just have to know that we got to take some time. It's going to take time. It's not going to come easy. And those things that, these, get rich quick schemes, or I guess they're not schemes, or if you can make a lot of money quickly, then great. But a lot of the times those don't last. Those aren't things that are going to help you in the long run. It's the same thing when, you start a business, you don't start seeing things happen, right? Or this podcast, I didn't see a lot of growth up front, right? And I had to remind myself that it wasn't going to be easy. And guess what? I have to market this. I have to share this with my friends and family and coworkers, just like I ask you guys to do, because that's the way to help it grow. But I had to be patient and know that, hey, I'm not going to just wake up and then I'm going to have 1 million downloads, right? I think it's important for us to understand that we are going to have to work hard for the things that we want. And, when I look at it, relationships, those are hard work. You've got to have hard work and dedication to relationships to make them work, right? It's the same thing with your work. You got to work hard and you got to, really focus on your craft and get good and get better and, continue to get better, right? If you get complacent, then, that leads to struggles, right? So you got to understand that there's nothing good comes out of easy, or at least that I've seen. So if you guys have examples of easy and you can help me find easy routes that, really work for everybody, I would love to share those with people. So if you guys do know that too, I'd love to see a different perspective, because I think it's important for us to know that hard work and dedication to our craft and to our relationships and to our friendships and us as a whole, right? We got to focus on us and really become the best us so we can be each day. That's what we got to do. But it's hard work. Nothing is easy. When, trying to find yourself and trying to find your purpose, believe me, it did not come easy of what I wanted to do. And you've got to be really focused on what you want. So writing down goals and creating goals for yourself is a big key to your success, because if you do that, then you will find ways to, eventually things will become easier, right? So you don't want it to start off easy, because if it's that easy, one, you tend to give up quicker, right? Because, well, that was too easy. I want something more challenging, right? So we challenge ourselves. And then when the challenge starts getting too tough, then we're like, man, I guess I could have stayed on easy, or man, I just need to give up. So you've got to decide what you want. But I promise you, when you work hard and you're dedicated to your craft or your relationships, friendships, whatever that looks like, you will find success. And that's what you got to do. Just be willing to find success and and work hard, and, great things will always happen. But just know things don't happen overnight. When I think Mark Cuban said that once was, you always hear the overnight success story. They don't see all the years or all the time that you put in to get to the point of being an overnight success. And that was one of the most brilliant things, and that really connected with me and helped me to visualize what I want out of life. And that really helped me to understand that, good things are going to take time. So be willing to work hard, be dedicated to your craft, and you'll find success quicker, right? And things will become easier. So let me leave you with this quote. Nobody said it'd be easy. They just promised it would be worth it. So be willing to put in the work, and I promise it'll all pay off and it'll all feel great because you worked hard and things got easier as they came along. And at the end of the day, you're going to be proud of what you do. So always be proud of what you do. Take some time to pat yourself on the back. If you have a success, I think some people forget to do that. And I think that's where we miss, is that we've got to be able to, really, say, man, hey, you're doing a great job, right? Tell yourself that you're doing a great job so that you hear it from you, because in the end, it's all about you and your success, right? So follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Breathe Motivate. Check out our website, breathemotivation.com. You can find all of our social media and our podcast there, and like our page on Facebook. And if you guys could continue to share this with your friends, family, coworkers, I would greatly appreciate that. Leave any kind of reviews. I love hearing from you guys. I think, that's one of my favorite things, is hearing your guys' successes and helping you guys through challenges if you guys are having those. And if you guys want to hear a certain topic, feel free to reach out to me on my website or Anthony Hester at breathemotivation.com. I greatly appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow on Sunday. And remember to breathe motivation and exhale success. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.